This lesson is about one of my favorite tools, the pan crop tool. This beauty allows you to, yes, pan and crop your images or video clips in a Ken Burns-like style. I'll show you what I mean. I have 3 clips here, 3 events. They happen to be graphic files, 2 JPEGs and a GIF. The GIF happens to be a motion GIF. As you can see. Right now these images are static. In other words, they're sitting in the same spot in the frame, no movement whatsoever. Even though this one is updating a little bit, it doesn't change in the frame. Same thing here. Wouldn't it be nice if on these still images we could zoom in and pan, pretend we had a virtual camera on top of a virtual copy stand. Vegas has it built in. I've rearranged the screen so we can see a little bit better. This is Event Pan Crop. And yes, you're right, that's me overlooking Times Square. But that's a whole other story. Let's take a closer look. This is the workspace area. This is the Properties panel. We can hide that by pushing this button here or show it. This is the Normal Edit tool, which we're in now. We can also go to a Zoom tool. This is a copy of the Enable Snapping button, also found down here. Comes in handy. This is the Lock Aspect Ratio button. If we do that, we can't change the aspect ratio of the original picture. Notice that when I right-click in the workspace, I get a menu which allows me to restore it to the position it was in. It allows me to center it. Here is the center point, and we can change that if we wish. I can flip it horizontally, and I can flip it vertically. Match output aspect, the output aspect ratio of your project. Yes, we want to do that in most cases, in many cases. Or match source aspect. This is a different size than the output of the project. The project is set to 720 by 480 dV. Let's match the project aspect ratio. This is the freewheeling button, or move freely as it's called. It has 3 choices. In this position, we move freely, anywhere we like. In this position, only in the x-axis. In this position, only in the y-axis. Notice if I try and tug it the other way, it just doesn't work. And we can restore it to where it was. And we can restore match output aspect. Down here, we have a mini timeline, complete with cursor, specific just to this clip. Notice how the cursor at the bottom also follows. And 2 lines, one for position, which we're going to examine now, and another for mask, which we'll get to in a subsequent chapter. Let's take a look at some of the things that we can do. Workspace. If we need to see more of this in order to get a broader perspective, we can zoom like this. Zoom out or zoom in. This has a little slider too. You can do it quickly. X and Y offset and grid spacing are available. We can choose to maintain aspect ratio by default and stretch to fill frame by default if we choose. Keyframe interpolation. We can change the smoothness of how Vegas interprets the difference between keyframes. We can change the rotation. Notice that the arrow becomes a circle. We can change the X and Y center as well. And we can change the position, width, height, X and Y center of the image as well. So what can we do with this?